6 famous and notorious criminals in the history. Number 6. Ted Kaczynski. Victims: 3 people killed, injured 23. He is an American criminal who gained notoriety for a series of bombings he carried out between 1978 and 1995. Kaczynski was a genius with a high IQ who enrolled in Harvard at the age of 16. Kaczynski, however, is best known as the Unabomber, a domestic terrorist who carried out more than a dozen bombings that resulted in several grave injuries and a few fatalities. His homemade bombs were sent through the mail and targeted universities, airlines, and other institutions. Number 5. Charles Manson. Victims: 2 people murdered, 7 murdered by proxy. He was an American criminal and cult leader who gained infamy for his involvement in a series of murders orchestrated by his followers, known as the Manson family in the late 1960s. He directed his followers to carry out a series of brutal murders. The most notorious of these was the killing of actress Sharon Tate and 4 others at her residence. The following night, Manson family members murdered Leno and Rosemary LaBianca in their home. Charles Manson died on November 19, 2017, at the age of 83 while serving his life sentence at California State Prison, Corcoran. Number 4. John Wayne Gacy. Victims: 33+ people killed. Often nicknamed Pogo the Clown, was a legendary criminal in American history and among the most active serial murderers ever. Gacy was found guilty of shoving 33 young boys into his home's crawlspace between 1972 and 1978 and then killing them there. Gacy would appear at numerous charity events while dressed as a clown, allowing him access to a large number of kids. In 1994, Gacy was executed through lethal injection. Number 3. Timothy McVeigh. Victims: 168 people killed, 680+ injured. He was an American domestic terrorist who was responsible for the Oklahoma City bombing on April 19, 1995. McVeigh detonated a truck bomb outside the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. The bombing resulted in the deaths of 168 people, including 19 children, and injured over 500 others. It remains one of the deadliest acts of domestic terrorism in U.S. history. He was executed by lethal injection on June 11, 2001. The execution took place at the Federal Correctional Complex in Terre Haute, Indiana. Number 2. Aileen Wuornos. Victims: 7 people killed. She was an American serial killer who gained notoriety for murdering 7 men between 1989 and 1990. She targeted and killed men who picked her up while she worked as a sex worker along highways in Florida. She claimed that her victims had attempted to sexually assault or rape her, and she acted in self-defense. She was executed by lethal injection on October 9, 2002, at the Florida State Prison. Number 1. Pablo Escobar. Victims: estimated around 4,000+ people killed. He was a notorious Colombian drug lord who became one of the wealthiest and most powerful criminals in history. Escobar began his criminal career by selling fake lottery tickets and stealing cars before entering the cocaine trade. He quickly rose through the ranks and established the Medellin cartel, which dominated the global cocaine trade in the 1970s and 1980s. Escobar killed anybody who stood in his way, including police officers and children. He had a virtual monopoly on the cocaine smuggling trade into America, bringing in more than 80% of the contraband cocaine. On December 2, 1993, Escobar was finally located and killed by Colombian authorities in a rooftop shootout in Medellin. His death marked the end of an era and the dismantling of the Medellin cartel.